I'm Laurie Blake. Welcome to the WrestleTalk News. This Sunday, we wear pink. Amen. Now, if you've been tuned in at all to our channel, WrestleTalk.com, X, or even, I guess, just the general internet this weekend, then you will, of course, know that there has been a whole load of noise regarding CM Punk potentially joining WWE. Now, it all began when Dave Meltzer broke in the Wrestling Observer newsletter on Friday that WWE and Punk were in talks, and that it was Punk's intention to return to his former employer. A return date of Survivor Series on November 25th was touted as a safe bet by House of Wrestling, with a further report by Fightful Select blowing the situation wide open. The short version being that despite WWE and those close to Punk feeling that Punk would indeed return, nobody in WWE has yet been told that Punk is coming back, but it is certainly not an impossibility. However, according to reports, most of the top talent, including potentially WWE's two top world champions Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns, are opposed to the idea, with many fences to be mended before it could happen. CM Punk to do some sort of Tom Sawyer apology tour. So this leads us to last night's edition of the show that was born off CM Punk's back, AEW Collision. While Collision is of course completely Punk-free these days, his old pals FTR still call it home and were in action in the show's opener, defending their AEW tag team titles against Big Bill and Ricky Starks. A match that shockingly concluded in just 5 minutes, with FTR getting utterly squashed and losing their beloved tag straps. What the FTR is going on? Considering that AEW was seemingly teeing us up for FTR versus the Young Bucks number 4 at Full Gear, and of course, the way in which they were utterly jobbed out on Saturday, many alarm bells began ringing, especially when following the match, Dax Harwood tweeted, "What a run! Love you all! Top guys out." This, of course, led to everybody freaking out and speculating that FTR were on their way out of AEW, perhaps even potentially following their pal Phil to WWE. Speculation that was furthered on the very same day the Punk news first broke, when it was revealed that Dax had trademarked CMFTR, the team name that they had used with Punk. Adding even further to the hullabaloo is, of course, all the talk of WWE snapping up AEW talent lately. WWE, of course, have been parading around former TBS champion Jade Cargill since she put pen to paper with the company, with reports of other names such as Ricky Starks joining his pals Cody and Jade in Stanford at some point as well. So, what gives? Well, despite all of the noise, it seems as if perhaps everyone has jumped the gun on this particular occasion. Shocker, I know. It's wrestling news. Just an hour following his Top Guys Out tweet, Harwood would once again jump on X to quell the speculation, saying, "Guys, I say Top Guys Out all the time. We ain't going nowhere. This is our home." I don't think it was just the Top Guys Out bit. It was the "what a run, Top Guys Out." Fightful Select would then later pour more cold water on the flames by confirming that FTR are actually signed to AEW until roughly 2027, with the relationship between them and the company being fine as of late. "You fired our friend, but it's fine." Fightful noted that due to the nature of the match, with Cash Wheeler being taken out early and Dax taking the brunt of the offense, the loss could instead be injury related, with that injury potentially coming at AEW Wrestle Dream. While initially just speculation, Brian Alvarez would later confirm that Cash was in fact injured, with AEW at least portraying that the injury occurred at Wrestle Dream, saying Cash is injured. The story they told on television is at the pay-per-view when Aussie Open ran them together, FTR had sold it like he'd injured his rib there, and he sold his ribs throughout the match on Collision. Despite the story being told of a rib injury, it's not actually clear what the full extent of it is just yet, and how long to expect to see FTR on the shelf because of it. This potential injury for Cash perhaps explains why, according to Sean Ross Sapp on the Fastlane review show, the FTR were in fact in favour of dropping their titles. In fact, there has even been speculation that Dax and Cash were supposed to drop the belts at Wrestle Dream to Aussie Open. However, given yet another injury being suffered by Mark Davis during that match, an audible was potentially called and FTR instead retained. Carl Fletcher has now moved on to singles stuff. So, in summary, maybe this one is a false alarm. However, that's not to say don't expect more AEW arrivals into WWE's doors in future. Because speaking at the WWE Fastlane post-show presser, Cody Rhodes was asked about someone he knows very well, Jade Cargill, and her move to WWE, revealing that he was very excited and very proud to see Jade make the leap to WWE. Following this, he was also posed the topic of more of his former AEW colleagues jumping ship, to which he said, "It's not going to be my job to be the liaison to my former peers or whomever. I would hope everyone does what's right for them, right? It's what's right for you? While seemingly unlikely for FTR despite their title loss, my question to you is, who do you think in AEW should jump ship to WWE? Let us know in the comments down below. Sticking with that Fastlane chat, and as much of a treat as it's been having John Cena back on our screens on a weekly basis, it was always going to be an enjoy it while it lasts type of deal. Because Big Match John is obviously usually Big Wizard John, with plenty of Hollywood irons in the fire. Meaning that when the ongoing SAG-AFTRA strikes eventually end, one would assume that Cena will once more be summoned to become a sort of a merman or a superhero or inexplicably Vin Diesel's brother or something. Posed this question at the post-Fastlane media press conference, Cena did in fact confirm that his immediate WWE future heavily depends on the ongoing strikes. Cena confirmed that it's not because he hates us or that wrestling is secondary to Hollywood, but it's all due to liability insurance. He said, "I've made it clear that you can't do both because of the liability insurance. If I were to try to juggle both, that's very selfish because I would put a whole lot of people in the movie business out of work if something were to happen to me. We'll just get Vin Diesel to stand in for you." Cena revealed that he actually stopped an unnamed project midway due to the strike, so it's not necessarily up to him when he goes back to work. It's just a case of doing so when the strike comes to a close. He did, however, stress the importance of spending that downtime back home in WWE to help out. Maybe some of that helping out will be at Crown Jewel. Do you know who will be at Crown Jewel? Not us, but you know who will be watching Crown Jewel, and you can watch Crown Jewel with us too. It's us. We're having a watch party at Crown Jewel, the Long Arm Brewery in Shoreditch, and you can come and join us by clicking the link in the description down below to get your tickets right now. One man who recently departed his home of WWE was, of course, Adam Copeland. Adam Copeland. Copeland, of course, rocked the wrestling world this time last week when he shockingly crossed the line to an enemy promotion for the first time ever in his career, debuting at AEW Wrestle Dream for an unsavory reunion with his old pal Christian Cage, who is one of the best things in wrestling right now, dead dads. Despite Copeland's AEW move being hot news 1 week ago, this is wrestling, and we obviously have very short attention spans. What am I doing? So surprisingly, the post-Fastlane presser, Triple H was not asked by anyone about the reports of CM Punk making his return to WWE. He was asked about Io Sky versus Taylor Swift as a match. He was asked about that. And he did also get questioned over Adam Copeland, leaving for the competition. Trips reiterated both Fightful Select's reports and Copeland's words himself that there was zero hard feelings or animosity between WWE and the Rated R superstar, and the split was simply the right choice and the right time for both parties. Tripp said, Time was right for him. Time was right for us. I think he had an amazing career and an amazing send-off here, and I think he felt like he had done what there was to do. I think we sort of felt, yeah, I think you're right. You ain't winning the world championship again, are you? No. Hunter revealed that he sent Adam a private message expressing his happiness for him and wished him the best, saying it's wonderful that Copeland found a different opportunity elsewhere. Sticking with AEW and with Cash Wheeler now out, Adam Cole out, Sammy Guevara out, Jon Moxley only just returning from a concussion, it's safe to say that AEW are 100% in the thick of it when it comes to injuries right now. And it seems like things are just getting worse, with two major title matches for next week's Title Tuesday Dynamite potentially being in doubt. First of which is the AEW International Championship match between Rey Fenix and Moxley. And the crazy thing is, it's reportedly got nothing to do with Mox, as he's been cleared to return. Instead, it's current champion Phoenix that is the issue. While it's no secret that Phoenix has been worse for wear in recent weeks, reportedly suffering an injury during the same match as Moxley at Grand Slam, he has continued to press on. He's defended his title twice, once against Jeff Jarrett the week following his win, and this week against Nick Jackson. However, as was seen at Wrestle Dream, where Phoenix was escorted out by medical staff during his four-way tag match, he's not doing too great. Now, according to Brian Alvarez on Wrestling Observer Radio, Phoenix is in very rough shape heading into Dynamite, calling into question whether the match will go ahead at all. Adding to the Title Tuesday woes is perhaps the selling point of the show, that being the debut of Adam Copeland inside an AEW ring where he takes on Luchasaurus. While Copeland is thankfully fine and not too emotionally scarred from Christian's rejection to compete, it seems that the same can't be said for his opponent. Because according to Alvarez on WOR, Luchasaurus potentially broke his finger in the closing segment of Collision this week. Again, the extent of this, if true, is not yet known. However, it's not exactly ideal for a match and a show with such meaning. is it? We'll have to see how it all shakes out, but we at WrestleTalk want to continue to offer our well wishes to all of the currently injured AEW talent and wrestling talent in general in their respective recoveries. Do you like lists? How about having 3 of them going on at the exact same time? Because that's exactly what our brand new series, Tables, Lists and Chairs, does, as Luke, Denise and Pete run down their personal top 10 WWE champions ever. Go and check it out.